Hey guys, I'm Amy. I crochet and I sometimes make videos about it. I started crocheting at like the very beginning of COVID, but it took me a long time to actually master the skill. Long story short, I quit my job in 2023 and I started crocheting a lot more in my spare time. As I'm sure many of you are familiar with, I was applying to tons of jobs but never having any luck. So eventually I decided to turn my hobby into a small business. That being said, I crochet almost every single day, and everything I've learned came from teaching myself or learning through YouTube because unfortunately I didn't have anyone to teach me. So I wanted to share some tips. The first two are pretty common, but the last three are things I wish I would have known as a beginner crocheter. Number one, holding your hook. Some people, myself included, hold their hook like this. Some people hold it like this, which I find to be a little bit slower. And there are a couple other different ways of holding your hook, but personally, I think for a beginner, this is a great way to start. If you find that something else is easier for you, do it that way. You can really hold it however is easiest for you. Just make sure it's efficient, because the very first time I picked up a crochet hook, I couldn't fathom how to draw up a loop without dropping the handle and using both hands to wrap the yarn around the hook before bringing it back through the stitch. Which brings me to my next point, holding the yarn. Personally, I think once you learn how to hold the yarn properly, holding the crochet hook the right way becomes a little bit more natural. So this is how I hold my yarn. I believe most people do it this way. There may be another way, but I find this the most useful. Pinch it in between your fingers and then put it over top of your middle finger and wrap it around your pinky finger, and then pull through like that as you're working. You can even just hold the yarn like this if the skein you're working from already has enough tension. When I was first learning how to hold the yarn properly, it was so unnatural to me. It felt like I had to learn to hold my hand in this manner, and it took weeks probably, because I wanted to let go and then the tension would be gone. You may have seen the rings that help you hold the yarn on your finger. I think those could be really great for a beginner, but past that stage, if you know how to hold your yarn on your finger, I really don't think that they're necessary. As a beginner crocheter, I was overly worried about my tension, so sometimes I would like wrap it around two fingers and like just make a mess, not really making a lot of sense. And that can give you kind of like a slight rope burn on your finger, so don't do that. Speaking of rope burn, you can get rope burn from frogging certain types of yarn too quickly. And I'm not talking about like the minor rope burn you can get on your finger from holding the yarn too tight. I'm talking about like it burns for like the hottest second. It makes you stop what you're doing and check your hand to make sure it is not lacerated. Luckily, I've never had that happen, but it like really does hurt for a second. This is the yarn I'm talking about that does that. I mean, pretty much probably any plus yarn. It has that like, you know, like the string in the center that holds it all together, and that shit can like fuck your fingers up. Tip number 4, accepting the frog. It took me a while to come to terms with the fact that I would have to frog some of the projects that I've made, either because they didn't look how I wanted them to, I changed my mind about something, because I am the most indecisive person I know, so it's gonna happen. I had to learn that. It was a learning curve. For my very first project about 6 years ago, I wanted to make a tank top. My overly eager 22-year-old brain didn't even consider the fact that I didn't have the skills to do this yet. However, I was determined. The final product resembled a bikini top attached to the long edge of a table runner. It honestly wasn't terrible given the fact that it was my first attempt to crochet anything, but by no means was I going to wear this thing. So I tried finding another use for it, like folding it and hanging it on my wall to put mail in, which was obviously an insane thought. So I took it down and I put it in my closet for a few years. At some point, it finally set in that I wasn't going to be able to use this for anything, and that I would be better off frogging it and reusing the yarn to make something else. I recently read on the internet, so I don't know if it's true, but I read that back in the day, people would knit or crochet, probably knit, sweaters for the wintertime, and then in the springtime, they would frog them and use the yarn to make something new. And this thought helped my perspective whenever it comes to frogging things, especially clothing, obviously, because it takes such a long time. And as I've said, I am the most indecisive person I know, so that's probably gonna happen to some of the sweaters I make. It already has. My fifth and final tip for today is about magic circles. That term might scare you if you're a beginner. I promise, if you just keep practicing magic circles, you will know them like the back of your hand in no time. Anyway, my tip about magic circles is about weaving in the starting tail. Wait until you've finished at least the third round to weave in the starting tail. If you immediately weave in the starting tail after the first or second round, the following rounds will cause the center to slightly pull open. So if you want the center to be closed as tightly as possible, wait until at least the third round of your project to weave in that starting tail. And that is all I have for today. I hope some of these were helpful. Good luck to all the beginners out there, and happy crocheting!